Oleg. We call him Oleg, but he's Li Huangji from China, with Jason Wang, his partner. Please start sharing screen, and you can start.
Алло, меня слышите?
Can you hear me? Yes, Oleg, we can hear you.
Сейчас
Just
я
one sec. I'm
демонстрирую
going to share my screen.
свою презентацию. А видеокамеру надо включать?
Now, can you see the shared screen? Yes, yes, we can see the presentation.
Можно начинать?
Can I start? Yes, please. Please do. You have the floor, please.
Спасибо. Спасибо вам, ведущим.
I would like to thank the moderators, dear friends, dear colleagues. Good afternoon. My name is Oleg Li. I am from China. I would like to, first of all, thank Oleg Semenovich for this invitation. I would like to thank the union, and also I'm grateful to you, dear colleague, to Jason Wang, for this big support to prepare the presentation. Today my topic is the history of trees development in China. Well, this topic is quite an extensive one. I will try to take 10, 15, 20 minutes to describe the subject and give you the general understanding about this history of developing trees. In 1987, the first publication about trees was published in China, and there was a creation as an exact science published in 1987, which was the first trees publication published in China. That was the time of economic reforms in China, and of course, we paid more attention to studying Western lessons and technologies rather than these topics, so possibly this book did not attract a lot of attention back then. Yet, more than 10 years ago, in the year 2000, the Hebei University of Technology established the first trees research center. The founders of this founder of this center is Mr. Tan, Professor Tan. He was the head of the center. Starting 2025, an annual high-level academic forum has been organized under his leadership. So there was this annual high-level academic forum organized under his auspices. The purpose of the forum is to discuss trees as an innovative method and tool, as well as its education, popularization, and application throughout China. Professor Tan, a few years later, he became the deputy director of this university, and he became an international member of the Russian Academy of Sciences. We can say that he is probably the main developer and scholar of trees in China. In 2002, there was a commercial entity created, which was called iWind. It was established in 2002. It does not exist today, but back then, it was very helpful in spreading trees ideas across China. iWind invited many masters, Russian masters, to attend China, to visit China. So these masters were invited with the view to teach and to provide advice on real projects in this field. In the center of the slide, you see three rings, three circles. So these are the circles, which is the result of developing by iBind. So this is an algorithm, a bottom-up tool. So each circle includes trees concepts in these bubbles. I can tell you that at the initial stage of this implementation, this structure, this scheme was very helpful for learners to grasp the main ideas and ideas of trees. The Chinese government supports and promotes scientific and technical innovation, including the trees development. In June 2007, three well-known Chinese scientists, so all of them are academicians, so they wrote to the Prime Minister of China and they called for accelerated action to promote innovative methods. The Prime Minister responded to promote innovative methods, which is the first step in achieving independent innovation. So this was the response of the Prime Minister. So for this development, you need to promote innovative methods. This is probably one of the key milestones in the trees development across China. On April 23, 2008, a year later, 4 Chinese ministries and commissions issued an official document. In this document, they established clear plans and requirements for the promotion of innovative methods. The nationwide promotion of trees has been launched since then. So this was the moment when the trees development, the trees promotion has been kickstarted. At the same time, looking at the social dimension, in 2007, the China Association of Inventions was founded. So this was the association working in the field of development. So again, this was the association of inventions. 4 years later, this association published a certification level and a method of assessment. So this is an annual and this is the only certification system and method which works using innovative methods and which is promoted at the government level. Hundreds of learners are certified according to this program. International trees organizations have also set up their branches in China. In 2014, the China branch of the International Trees Association was established. The Matriz official branch was established last year in 2022. In 2017, there was a National Engineering Research Center for Technological Innovation Method and Tool, which was established, which was a method working in line with technological innovations and to promote implementation tools. The head of this center was the same person, Professor Tang, and this happened the same year. In the same year, there was the China branch of the Altschuler Institute established as well. To the right in the picture, you see Mr. Tan shaking the hand of the president of the Institute of Altschuler, Mr. Buchmann, during the opening ceremony of running the branch.
Является основной движущей силой развития. Это говорил наш нынешний президент Си Цзиньпин.
Everything, as our president Xi Jinping was speaking about. So last year, we published innovative strategy of our development. So strategy of that development to become breakthrough country in innovation. So for us to achieve this goal, this very strategy was developed for 3 steps, and the term of development of this plan lasts till 2050. So you can see everything in detail here on the slide. So you can read it. Oh, and also, according to the order of this strategy, local administration actively supports implementation of trees. Usually they do like that. So at first they designate the leading department in the local government to implement trees system. And after that, this very department will establish research and promotion institutions and also designate pilot enterprises. After that, they start organizing training courses to show the results of the implementation. Usually, they organize different contests in different spheres of the competition. So as the result, many students and juniors, many pupils, they were acquainted with trees, and also they've been trained in this very project. For example, for the students, the biggest and the most famous and known competition is the COP College Student Innovation Method Competition, China Trees. So you can see those numbers. In last year, in this very competition, altogether 2,145 participants were there from 226 universities across China. And here at this very slide, you can see a percentage of the informational works of the participants. Unfortunately, it's in Chinese, but it's written about general information of the teams, what kind of problematic situations were there, formation and the solution of the task, also tasks and also pictures of the construction of the prototype. This very competition helps us to distribute trees correctly in institutions, higher institutions, and universities. So right now in China, more than 100 universities open this very subject of trees, including my colleagues. They open 4 subjects in university, in some other universities, and so every project, every subject has its own goal, and they're all related to different parts of trees program. Of course, in China, there are a lot of commercial agencies, consultation agencies. So they offer services of training and consolidation of general tests. So here you can see some consulting agencies in China. So we can say also that they play a very important role in the activity of trees development in China. And right now, let's have a look at the results of the development and application of trees in China. So publications, published books have very important role in the propagation of the knowledge. So in 20th century, they published, in 21st century, they published more than 30 books about trees. So here at this very slide, you can see typical books on different directions of the development. So all those books in the upper part of the slide, these are translated from the authors Alchuril, Samakov, Shpakovsky, Litvin, Yakovenko, and other masters. So these books are very different about some tricks, approaches, standard system, standards about forecasts, about evolution, and etc. A lot of Chinese readers, by their own, they studied trees by these books. So all books in the lower part of the slide under the axis of timeline are monographical. So these are the authors from China, scientists and specialists. So most of the books are about tools, trees tools. In some specific branches, spheres, and besides them, among them, there are many monographic books which would talk about application of trees in some specific areas. So we can say there are 3 books which really made a breakthrough in the theory direction. So here you can see those books with red color, red border, actually in red frames. So I will talk about those books a bit. The first book is Dao. So it is a set of methodologies for application of corporate technologies, and it is the applied technology for innovation. And this very abbreviation of English alphabet, DAO, means 4 stages of innovations: define, analyze, optimize, and verify. And unlike traditional methods of product development, DAO doesn't look at the quality as the foundation of the improvement of the project, but fundamentally increases values of the products by means of higher product ideality. It integrates more than 30 trees and quality management tools. So the second tool is unified trees, U-trees. So in this very theory, authors developed new analytic model, SAPV, SAPV. So I will tell you about this very abbreviation. So this is the model which combined 4 factors: substance, attribute, parameter, and value. Substance as the component of the system, and it has a lot of properties. Every property in minimal value has 1 parameter at least, and 1 parameter is in the current value. For example, automobile is the system, and the substances, wheels, are the components of the systems. And in the surface of the system, there is a substance of the flat parameters. So they are being valued, they're being assessed by the value. So the main thought of the application of this very model is like that. When the person analyzes the system, he can achieve, according to this model, this very physical contradiction, because between values of 1 parameter, there is a physical contradiction, and between parameters, there is a technical contradiction. Between properties, we can organize scientific effect, and between substances, it is organized the function. The function is being organized. So the third theory of trees is an engineered trees developed in China. So he called it sea trees, China trees. So the main idea of it, to his mind, that trees is the solution of the task, of the problems. So how to shape this very problem, how to make a design of the roadmap to solve the problem. So that's why it deals with sea trees. The right hand scheme shows to us how to work together in joint manner, sea trees and trees. And also we will have a look at the situation about published works in China. In the left side of the scheme, you can see the quantity of the published articles in official magazines from 2000 to 2020. So on the right side of the slide, you can see the list of the disciplines which are applied by trees. And here is another list where we can see industries where trees is applied. And if we have a look in detail about the content of all these articles, we can make such a conclusion. The main research content of the literature includes trees, generation of conceptual solutions, product design, and the combination of trees with different methods. For example, deployed of quality functions, Six Sigma, and theory of constraints, and other methods. So, Oleg, you have 10 minutes to go, considering the questions of the participants. All right, I will try to make the best. I will make it really quick. I have several slides to go. So at this very slide, in the left side of the table, you can see general frequency of usage and proportions for different trees tools. So the most popular instrument is technical contradiction, IFR. So the tools for the development of the creative imagination are not really used very often. And in the right side of the table, you can see the purposes of trees application. So here is improvement of labor productivity, also quality improvement. So these are in the first and second row. So we can say that Chinese mode of development has some advantages, and of course there are some drawbacks. First of all, we can say about support of governmental authorities are the strong factors of the driving forces of trees implementation. And of course, there are some disadvantages. I won't read them out, but I guess that the biggest disadvantage is not high quality system of training and education. And finally, we can read out such conclusions for us to improve and implement trees in China, I guess that this very direction relates to the education, to the scientific research, and also direction with software and digital and intelligent application. So that's it from my side. On my behalf, as per report, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you. Thank you, Oleg.
Thank you, Li Huanqiu.
Thank you, Li Huanqiu.
Да, сейчас у нас есть небольшой.
Yeah, right now we have a short timeline interval for processing of the questions. So you're welcome. You can go ahead. I guess that this report is very interesting. This is for the first time when we can resume the achievements of how trees was developed in China. For me, it was rather interesting. So now we can start with the questions. So if we don't have any other questions now, I have two questions. Oleg, so at your slides, you were talking about the center of trees, how you started everything. So foundation of tree center at the university. So I tried to enter website of the university and I couldn't find this center there. So what is the destiny of this center as of now? So now it's valid, it operates, and many workers of it and developers work there. So it is acting, it is operating. Most probably this very center doesn't have this very much of international character. Recently, I open up the web page of this very center. Unfortunately, it's written only in Chinese about the events, about the development. And another question, we saw different information about trees competitions, and they are of massive, widespread character. Do you monitor quality of the application of those methods? For example, some statistic data, which methods are the most popular ones? Maybe there are some new methods appear with some kind of a slang of Chinese needs, some kind of a shadow of Chinese property. Yeah, you see, all the materials for my report were found online. So what you really asked me, I tried to find this very information, some detailed information about that. Unfortunately, we lack it. It's an official remark, but as far as I know, there are some programs according to the demand, on demand for making those reports. Most of them should be described, the situation, and then very clearly we have to show.
So you need to show the process of how you use these contradictions, how these contradictions can be used, how a physical contradiction can be used. So again, you can issue this classic tools. You can use these classic tools like main final result and others. So then after that, the experts assess all that point by point to assess the quality of this development. Thank you so much. And now let us possibly focus on other questions. And the last but not least, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, so the works, the inputs that were provided that reached the final, so they were registered. They had the registered patents already. All right, thank you. Thank you so much. So let's continue this monitoring, just track these developments and keep us updated. So we have a few questions from the chat. In China, how many the universities are offering trees training, trees learning in percentages? Well, I understand that China is a big country. Well, I haven't calculated that yet. I haven't found the figures, but generally, in total, looking at colleges and in the system of higher education, we have about 2,000 universities, and we see here that almost 300 universities were participating from 29 provinces. Yes, this is quite a significant number. A question from Igor Nikitchenko. He thanked you for the presentation. My question is on the emerging areas of China, like Shenzhen. Is trees becoming part of the work of enterprises? So this applied way of doing that. Well, yes, looking at these agencies. So these agencies are working in this field. These are the consulting firms. And what about the question in Shenzhen? Is there something like that available? Yes, indeed. We don't have the time to answer all questions. All the questions, just one more minute, please. I've mentioned something about the learning. Thank you for this wonderful information, valuable information. I don't see any questions. Thank you, Marat. We see Marat joining us. Just to add to Oleg's statement, to Oleg's report, if I can take 1 minute. You have 30 seconds, Mr. Gafitulin. I was lucky 5 years ago in 2018 to visit China, and I had the impression from what I saw that the flag of China having 5 stars, 1 big star, 4 smaller stars, and well, I see that possibly if we look at these 4 stars, they can form trees altogether. Well, most probably. Thank you. Thank you.